I welcome you all to my 27th lecture on digital signal processing, that is UEC 502, for electronics and communication engineering student and electronics and computer engineering students. Today we will discuss Chebyshev filters and its types. There are two types of Chebyshev filters, which are as follows. Type 1 Chebyshev filters are all pole filters that exhibit equiripple behavior in passband and a monotonic characteristic in the stop band. The type 2 Chebyshev filters contain both poles as well as zeros and exhibit a monotonic behavior in the passband and an equiripple behavior in the stop band. The zeros of this class of filters lie on the imaginary axis in the S-plane. Therefore, the differences between type 1 Chebyshev filters and type 2 Chebyshev filters are quite evident based on the characteristics. Now, we will first start with type 1 Chebyshev filter. The magnitude squared of the frequency response characteristic of a type 1 Chebyshev filter is given by magnitude h omega square is equal to 1 by 1 plus e square Tn square bracket omega by omega p. Mark it as equation A. Here, capital T n bracket x is a function of x, which is equal to cos bracket capital N cos inverse x for magnitude x less than equal to 1, and Tn bracket x is equal to cos bracket capital N cos inverse x for magnitude x greater than 1. Mark it as equation B. Where E is a parameter of the filter related to the ripple in the passband and omega p is the passband edge frequency. Now the function capital T n bracket x is the nth order Chebyshev polynomial. The Chebyshev polynomials can be generated by the recursive equation capital T n plus 1 bracket x is equal to 2x t capital T n bracket x minus capital T n minus bracket x for capital N 1 2 and so on. Mark it as equation C as shown, where t0 bracket x is equal to 1 and t1 bracket x is equal to x and t2 bracket x is equal to 2x square minus 1 and t3 bracket x is equal to 4x cube minus 3x and so on. That is calculated from the recursive equation C. So we can generate Chebyshev polynomials using the recursive equation C. Some properties of these polynomials are as follows. Magnitude capital T n bracket x is less than equal to 1 for all values of absolute values of x less than equal to 1. And second property is capital T n bracket 1 is equal to 1 for all n, and all the roots of the polynomial capital T n bracket x occur in the interval, that is x lying between the range -1 to +1. So these are three properties of the polynomial T n bracket x, that is Chebyshev polynomial. Now this is magnitude squared frequency response of type 1 Chebyshev filter. Now this is for n is equal to odd and this is for n is equal to even. Now look at this. For n odd, capital T n bracket 0 is equal to 0 and hence magnitude h0 square is equal to 1. So at this point I have value 1 for h omega square, magnitude h omega square. Now for n even, now in this case for n even, capital T and bracket 0 is equal to 1, and hence magnitude H0 square is equal to 1 by 1 plus E square. So here, this is the point where 1 by 1 plus E square at omega is equal to 0. So H0 is actually H omega square, magnitude H omega square evaluated at omega is equal to 0. And when in this equation I will substitute omega is equal to 0, it will give me magnitude H omega square evaluated at omega is equal to 0 is equal to 1 by 1 plus E square T n square bracket 0. So for even and odd, I will substitute the value of T n square bracket 0 here and calculate magnitude squared function at omega is equal to 0. So for odd, it is coming out to be 1. For even and capital and even, it is coming out to be 1 by 1 plus E square as shown. At the band edge frequency, omega is equal to omega p. Now look, we have capital T and bracket 1 is equal to 1. Omega p. Now here, omega p. Here it is omega p. We have T capital N 1 is equal to 1. So if I will substitute omega is equal to omega p in this equation, so I will get magnitude H omega square evaluated at omega is equal to omega p is equal to 1 by 1 plus E square T n square bracket 1. So I need the value T n bracket 1, value of T n bracket 1. So that is Tn1 is equal to 1. So it follows that 1 minus delta 1 is equal to 1 by square root 1 plus E square. If delta 1 is the value of passband ripple, then at omega is equal to omega p, 1 minus delta 1 the whole square, because it is H omega square. So 1 minus delta 1 the whole square is equal to 1 by E square, or 1 minus delta 1 is equal to 1 by square root 1 plus E square. So mark it as equation D. Equivalently, E square is equal to 1 by 1 minus delta 1 the whole square minus 1. Mark it as equation E. So I can form equation D and E based on the value of delta 1. That is, delta 1 is the value of passband ripple. Delta 1 is the value of passband ripple. So 1 minus delta 1 square is equal to 1 by 1 plus E square. So 1 minus delta 1 is equal to 1 by square root 1 plus E square. And this leads to E square is equal to 1 by 1 minus delta 1 the square minus 1. Mark it as equation E. Now the pores of type 1 Chebyshev filter lie on an ellipse in the S plane with major axis R1 is equal to omega p. Omega is passband edge frequency. R1 is equal to omega p bracket beta square plus 1 divided by 2 beta. Mark it as equation G. And with minor axis R2 is equal to omega p bracket beta square minus 1 divided by 2 beta. Mark it as equation I. Now what is beta? So what is beta? Where beta is related to E, according to the equation, beta is equal to square root 1 plus E square plus 1 divided by E raised to power 1 by N. Mark it as equation J as shown. So value of beta is dependent upon what is E. So value of beta is dependent upon what is E. The pole locations are most easily determined for a filter of order N by first locating the poles for an equivalent nth order Butterworth filter that lie on circles of radius R1 and radius R2. We denote angular positions of the poles of the Butterworth filter as, so this is very important, the pole locations are most easily determined for a filter of order capital N by first locating the poles for an equivalent nth order Butterworth filter that lie on circles of radius r1 and radius r2, we denote angular positions of the poles of the Butterworth filter as. Now we have done Butterworth filter in the previous lecture. So location of poles is determined by phi k is equal to pi by 2 bracket 2k plus 1 into pi by 2n, where k is changing from 0 to n minus 1. Mark it as equation k. The position of poles of the Chebyshev filter lie on the ellipse at the coordinates xk and yk, where k is changing from 0 to n minus 1. Now here xk is equal to r2 cos phi k, where k is changing from 0 to n minus 1, and yk is equal to r1 sin phi k, where k is changing from 0 to n minus 1. Mark it as equation L. So once more, look at this. The value of E is dependent upon delta 1. That what is delta 1? Delta 1 is the value of passband ripple. Omega p is the passband edge frequency. Now the poles of type 1 Chebyshev filters lie on ellipse in S plane with major axis R1, which is dependent upon omega p and beta by equation G, and on minor axis R2, which is dependent on omega p and beta by equation I, and beta is derived using equation J, that is dependent upon capital N and what is the value of E. For determine the location of poles, we need to first locate the poles for an equivalent nth order Butterworth filter. So phi k I can get from the Butterworth filter, that is phi k is equal to pi by 2 plus bracket 2k plus 1 into pi by 2n. K is changing from 0 to n minus 1. Now finally, the positions of the poles of Chebyshev filter lie on the ellipse at the coordinates bracket xk comma yk, where k is changing from 0 to n minus 1, and xk is equal to r2 cos phi k and yk is r1 cos phi k. R2 and r1 we have calculated using equation G and I, and phi k I have calculated from Butterworth filter, and from there I can calculate the coordinates of poles xk and yk. This is how I can determine the position of poles of Chebyshev filter type 1 that lie on ellipse at coordinates xk and yk by using equation L. Now type 2 Chebyshev filter contains zeros as well as poles. The magnitude squared of its frequency response is given as. Now this is type 2 Chebyshev filter. Now it contains both zeros and poles. The magnitude squared of its frequency response is given as magnitude h omega square is equal to 1 by 1 plus e square bracket tn square bracket omega s by omega p divided by tn square bracket omega s by omega, as shown in equation M, where Tn bracket x is the nth order Chebyshev polynomial as discussed above. Here omega s is the stop band edge frequency. The zeros are located on the imaginary axis at the points sk is equal to iota omega s divided by sine phi k. We have derived how we can calculate phi k. So the zeros of type 2 Chebyshev filter are located on the imaginary axis at points sk is equal to iota omega s by sine phi k when k is changing from 0 to n minus 1. Mark it as equation O. Now the poles of type 2 Chebyshev filter are located at the points Vk and Wk, where Vk is equal to omega s xk divided by square root xk square plus yk square. K is changing from 0 to n minus 1, and Wk is equal to omega s yk divided by square root xk square plus yk square. K is changing from 0 to n minus 1. Mark it as equation P. Now this sk is indicating the location of zeros of type 2 Chebyshev filter, and location of poles is dependent upon Vk and Wk, that are the coordinates of the poles, where Vk is equal to omega s stop band edge frequency, Vk is equal to omega s xk divided by square root xk square plus yk square, and Wk is omega s yk divided by square root xk square plus yk square. Mark it as P, where xk and yk need to be calculated by using equation L. Look at equation L once more, this equation which we have discussed earlier. But with beta parameter, but with beta parameter dependent on the ripple in the stop band through the equation beta is equal to bracket 1 plus square root 1 minus delta 2 square divided by delta 2 raised to power 1 by capital N. Mark it as equation Q as shown on the screen. So beta is dependent upon delta 2, that is ripple in the stop band. Delta 2 is the ripple in the stop band. Now the procedure remains same for calculation on calculation of xk and yk, but beta parameter is dependent upon delta 2. Previously in type 1, beta was dependent upon E and capital N. Now in type 2 Chebyshev filter, beta is dependent upon capital N and delta 2. Delta 2 is ripple in stop band. Now xk and yk are determined based on this beta. Though we will use equation L, but xk and yk will be dependent on this beta. This is defined here differently for type 2 Chebyshev filter. Now this is magnitude squared response, magnitude squared frequency response of type 2 Chebyshev filter characteristic. So for n odd, now you can see that for n odd, it is in the pass band, there are approximately 0 ripples for n odd and n even, but in the stop band, there are ripples for n odd and n even. Now look at this. At this point, h omega square is equal to delta 2 square. Magnitude h omega square is delta 2 square at this point, and corresponding to this there is a frequency omega s, and corresponding to this point there is a frequency omega s, that is stop band edge frequency, and there is omega p, this is called pass band edge frequency. Now let us see what happened when omega is equal to omega p. So when magnitude h omega square is evaluated at omega is equal to omega p, it will be 1 by 1 plus e square bracket t n square bracket omega s by omega p divided by t n square omega by s by omega p. So value is 1 by 1 plus e square. So at omega p, here value is 1 by 1 plus e square. At omega p, its value is 1 by 1 plus e square. This is just substitution of value of omega in equation number, let us see. It is just you substitute value of omega in equation m and calculate the value of magnitude h omega square at that particular value of omega. Now the Chebyshev filters are characterized by the parameters capital N, E, delta 2, and the ratio of omega s by omega p. And we can determine the order of filter by using the following equation, that is capital N is equal to log bracket, then bracket square root 1 plus delta 2 square plus square root 1 minus delta 2 square 1 plus e square bracket close divided by e delta 2, and this whole numerator is divided by log bracket omega s by omega p plus square root omega s by omega p whole square minus 1. And mark is at equation R. So by using equation R as shown on the screen, I can calculate the order of the Chebyshev filter. There is one more equation by which I can calculate the order, and that is capital N is equal to cosh inverse bracket delta by E divided by cosh inverse omega s by omega p. Mark it as equation U, where by definition delta 2 is equal to 1 by 1 by square root 1 plus delta square. Mark it as equation B. So you have two equations, R and U, by which you can calculate the order of the Chebyshev filter. Now we will do one example. Determine the order and the poles of a type 1 low pass Chebyshev filter that has delta 1 is equal to 0.1088 ripple in the pass band, and pass band edge frequency omega p is 1000 pi, and a stop band frequency of 2000 pi, and an attenuation of 40 dB or more for omega greater than equal to omega s. We need to determine the order of filter first. For its solution, we have delta 1, that is ripple in pass band, is equal to 0.1088. So by using equation D, let us see equation D for type 1. Now this is equation D, that is 1 by square root 1 plus e square is equal to 1 minus delta 1. Delta 1 is the value of pass band ripple. From this I will calculate D and E. From equation D and E, I will calculate the value of e square or E. So 1 by square root 1 plus e square is equal to 0.8912, and from here e is approximately 0.50898. Now an attenuation of 40 dB or more is for omega greater than equal to omega s. So stop band frequency omega s is given to be 2000 pi, and 40 dB attenuation is reported. So the formula for attenuation is minus 20 log delta 2 is equal to 40, minus 20 log delta 2 is equal to 40, and delta 2 is equal to 0.01, because delta 2 is the stop band ripple. Delta 2 is the stop band ripple. So attenuation is minus 20 log delta 2 is equal to 40. That is 20 log delta 2 is equal to minus 40, and this will give me delta 2 is equal to 0.01. From equation R and U, it is clear that N is approximately equal to 4. Now look at this. This is U. This is equation R. I can use any to calculate the value of capital N, which is coming out to be 4. It leads to a type 1 Chebyshev filter having 4 poles meeting the given specifications. Now the pole locations are determined by using equation G, I, J, and K by computing the parameters beta, R1, R2. Now look at the equations. G for R1, I for R2, beta. G1, I will use equation G to calculate R1. I will use equation I to calculate R2, and I will use equation J to calculate beta. And I will use equation K to calculate phi K. I need to just substitute the values, and I will calculate beta is equal to 1.4291. R1 is coming out to be 1.0644 omega p, and R2 is coming out to be 0.36468 omega p. And phi k, the formula for phi k is equal to pi by 2 plus bracket 2k plus 1 pi by 2n. 2n is 8. So phi k is pi by 2 plus bracket 2k plus 1 pi by 8. K is changing from 0 to 3. Now the pole locations are calculated using equation L. The pole locations are determined using equation L. Let's have a look at equation L also. This is equation L. Phi k we have, R2 and R1 we have calculated. We can find the coordinates of the poles on ellipse, that is xk and yk, that are dependent on R2, R1 and phi k, which we have. Now the poles are at x1 plus iota y1 is equal to minus 0.1397 omega p plus minus iota 0.979 omega p, x2 plus iota y2 is equal to minus 0.337 omega p plus minus iota 0.4056 omega p. That is from equation L. Now a similar question we have solved in the previous lecture. Under similar condition in Butterworth filter design, number of poles is 7. Now here for type 1 Chebyshev filter, number of poles is 4. Now another scenario, if we consider same number of poles for both with similar stop band and pass band specification, the Chebyshev filter exhibits smaller transition width in comparison to the Butterworth filter. So this is the advantage of type 1 Chebyshev filter, or Chebyshev filters give advantage over Butterworth filter in under this scenario. Now we do one more question. Now it is the Chebyshev low pass filter in digital domain. Consider a Chebyshev low pass filter whose system function is HLP, that is type 1. HLP Z is equal to 0.001836 bracket 1 plus Z inverse raised to power 4 divided by 1 minus 1.5548 Z inverse plus 0.6493 Z raised to power minus 2 bracket 1 minus 1.4996 Z inverse plus 0.8482 Z raised to power minus 2. So HLPZ is type 1 Chebyshev low pass filter in digital domain. This fourth order system is designed using the bilinear transformation to meet the following specifications. That is, magnitude HLP e raised to j omega is lying between 0.89125 to 1 when omega is lying between 0 to 0.2 pi, as this is low pass filter, and magnitude HLP e raised to j omega is less than equal to 0.17783 when omega is small omega, that is angular frequency in discrete domain. Small omega is lying between the range 0.3 pi to pi. Now here omega p. Now look at this. Here small omega p is equal to 0.2 pi. That is passband edge frequency in the digital domain is 0.2 pi from this. Convert it to high pass filter using the frequency domain transformation in the digital domain with passband edge frequency. Omega p dash is equal to 0.6 pi. Now, in this question, it is asked that this is the low pass filter, type 1 Chebyshev low pass filter with system function HLPZ. And these are its specification, that omega p, that is passband edge frequency, is 0.2 pi. Now, in this question, it is asked that convert this low pass filter with passband edge frequency omega p is equal to 0.2 pi to a high pass filter in the frequency using the frequency domain transformation when the passband edge frequency of high pass filter is omega p dash is equal to 0.6 pi. So in the last lecture, we did transformations in the analog domain and transformations in the digital domain. So you can see the table as discussed in the last lecture. And to convert a low pass filter with passband edge frequency omega p to a high pass filter with passband edge new passband edge frequency 0.6 pi, we need to do this transformation. That is, we will replace Z inverse with minus Z raised to power minus 1 plus alpha divided by 1 plus alpha Z inverse in this HLPZ. So this HLPZ is given in terms of the polynomial, numerator polynomial and denominator polynomials are in terms of z raised to power minus 1. So z raised to power minus 1 is replaced by minus bracket z raised to power minus 1 plus alpha divided by 1 plus alpha z inverse in this system function. Here alpha is equal to minus cos omega p plus omega p dash by 2 divided by cos omega p minus omega p dash by 2. This is value of alpha. We will substitute here because we have given omega p, that is passband edge frequency of low pass filter, and desired high pass filter is having desired passband edge frequency omega p dash, and we can calculate value of alpha. Now alpha is coming out to be minus cos bracket 0.2 pi plus 0.6 pi by 2 divided by cos 0.2 pi minus 0.6 pi by 2, and alpha is coming out to be minus 0.381966. So I will substitute this value here. Now what we are actually going to do, we are going to transform this HLPZ to HHPZ by using this transformation in digital domain, frequency domain transformation in digital domain. That is actually, we are going to replace this Z inverse with this. That is minus Z raised to power minus bracket Z raised to power minus 1 plus alpha divided by 1 plus alpha Z inverse. If I will replace this Z inverse with this expression, then this HLPZ will be transformed to HHPZ, where HHPZ is the system function of high pass filter, the new desired high pass filter. So using low pass to high pass transformation, we obtain HHPZ is equal to HLPZ when Z inverse is changed to minus Z raised to power minus 1 plus alpha divided by 1 plus alpha Z inverse. And that will give me 0.02426 bracket 1 minus Z inverse raised to power 4 divided by 1 plus 1.0416 Z inverse plus 0.4019 Z raised to power minus 2 bracket 1 plus 0.566 Z inverse plus 0.7657 raised to power minus 2. Now the fourth order 0 at Z is equal to minus 1 for the low pass filter, the given low pass filter now appears at Z is equal to plus 1 for the high pass filter. This is very important. Now look at this. Here for the given low pass filter, type 1 Chebyshev low pass filter, the 0 is at Z is equal to minus 1. The fourth order 0, that is 4 zeros are occurring at Z is equal to minus 1 for the given low pass filter, now appear at Z is equal to plus 1. Now look at this for high pass type 1 Chebyshev high pass filter with this system function. Here fourth order 0 is occurring at Z is equal to 1 for the high pass filter. Except for some distortion of the frequency scale, the high pass frequency response appears very much as if the low pass response is shifted in frequency by pi. In one of my previous lectures, we have discussed that we can convert a low pass filter, we can convert a low pass filter to high pass filter by shifting the low pass response by pi. So the low pass response, when shifted in frequency by pi, it becomes high pass filter, high pass frequency response. So except for some distortion, if I will use this method, except for some distortion of the frequency scale, the high pass frequency response appears very much as if the low pass response is shifted in the frequency by pi. The third observation is that the equiripple passband behavior is preserved by the frequency transformation of this type. This, what I have done here, I have done frequency transformation, but we have observed that the equiripple passband behavior is preserved by the frequency transposition of this type. I will show you with MATLAB simulation. That is, this is low pass to high pass filter transformation in digital domain. This is magnitude h omega square. On x-axis we have small omega, that is angular frequency in discrete domain, which is changing from 0 to pi here, just shown. Here on y-axis it is magnitude h omega square. This is the response of low pass filter. Red colored is the, in the red color, this is the response. The response in red color is for low pass filter. And when I have I have incorporated frequency domain transformation and converted this low pass filter to high pass filter, so then the response becomes this. Now this blue colored magnitude response of type 1 Chebyshev high pass filter is in blue color. Now you see that the equiripple passband behavior is preserved by the frequency transformation of this type. Look at this. This is this magnitude response. This magnitude response is for low pass filter, which is in red color, and this is blue. The blue colored response is for the high pass filter. The blue colored frequency response is for the high pass filter. In this way, we have generated, or we have designed a high pass filter using the frequency domain transformation in the digital domain. But here we have what we have done. Here we have just used the frequency domain transform in the digital domain. That is, we have replaced Z inverse with minus bracket Z inverse plus alpha divided by 1 plus alpha Z inverse in this system function of given low pass filter, that is HLPZ. And I have generated new system function HHPZ for the desired high pass filter like this. HHPZ is equal to HLPZ when Z inverse is changed to minus Z raised to minus 1 plus alpha 1 by 1 plus alpha Z inverse. So this for the transfer frequency domain transformations in the digital domain, I have discussed a table in the previous lecture. So you can go through that table and you can attempt other questions also. You can convert, if you are given a Chebyshev low pass filter of type 1 in digital domain with system function HLPZ, then you can convert this low pass filter to other low pass filter with other passband edge frequency. You can convert this low pass filter to high pass filter. You can convert this low pass filter to band pass filter or band reject filter using the appropriate frequency domain transformation in the digital domain as discussed in the last lecture. It is just replacing Z inverse with appropriate function. Now that's all for today's lecture. This article is from the book on digital signal processing by John J. Prokis. You can also do this article from Discrete Time Signal Processing by Oppen and Schaeffer. Both books are equally good. For self-study, you can consult these two books. Thanks for attending this session on DSP. See you in next lecture.